Chapter 16: Bureaucracy. The concept of bureaucracy is fundamental in understanding the structure and function of modern government. A bureaucracy is essentially an organized administrative system tasked with implementing laws, rules, and policies. The term itself originates from the French word bureau, meaning desk or office, and the Greek kratos, meaning rule or political power. Bureaucracy represents the permanent government apparatus, differing significantly from the transient elected officials who come and go with election cycles. In the United States, the federal bureaucracy consists of agencies, departments, and commissions that implement federal laws and regulations. It is often referred to as the fourth branch of government due to its extensive influence over policy implementation. While not explicitly outlined as a separate branch in the Constitution, its roles and responsibilities have expanded significantly, especially since the Progressive Era and the New Deal period. Historically, the size and scope of bureaucracy have grown in response to national crises. For example, during the Great Depression, President Franklin D. Roosevelt established numerous federal agencies under the New Deal program, such as the Social Security Administration and the Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC, to address widespread economic hardships. One essential characteristic of bureaucracy is specialization. Agencies often have specific and narrow areas of responsibility. For instance, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, is dedicated exclusively to regulating environmental policies, while the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, focuses solely on tax collection and enforcement. Another defining feature of bureaucracy is hierarchy. Each bureaucratic organization is structured hierarchically with clear lines of authority, responsibilities, and accountability. At the top is the department or agency head, often a secretary or director appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate, followed by deputy directors, managers, supervisors, and finally, rank-and-file civil servants. Rules and regulations are central to bureaucracy, allowing agencies to function systematically and consistently. Agencies develop detailed guidelines to enforce laws passed by Congress. For instance, after Congress passes broad environmental laws like the Clean Air Act, the EPA creates and enforces specific regulations to achieve the Act's objectives. Bureaucratic implementation of policy is another critical aspect. Once Congress passes a law, it's the bureaucracy's job to interpret and implement it. However, this implementation is not always straightforward and can be influenced by various factors, including political pressures, available resources, and public opinion. The bureaucratic process also includes administrative adjudication, where agencies resolve disputes or violations of their regulations through administrative hearings. For example, if a business violates environmental regulations, the EPA can hold administrative hearings to determine penalties or corrective actions. Bureaucracy also faces critiques primarily around inefficiency, rigidity, and lack of accountability. Critics argue that bureaucratic red tape, the excessive and complex procedural requirements, can hinder timely and effective decision-making. Furthermore, the bureaucracy's permanence and insulation from direct electoral accountability mean civil servants might not always respond effectively to public needs or preferences. An example illustrating bureaucratic inefficiency was the Federal Emergency Management Agency's FEMA criticized response during Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Slow decision-making, poor communication, and cumbersome administrative processes severely hampered relief efforts. To address these criticisms, reforms have been proposed, including the privatization of certain governmental functions and the introduction of performance-based management practices. The National Performance Review under President Bill Clinton aimed to streamline bureaucratic operations, reduce red tape, and enhance government efficiency. Despite criticisms, the bureaucracy remains indispensable for modern governance. It provides expertise, continuity, and stability, crucial for implementing complex public policies in diverse areas such as health, national security, and environmental protection. To finish, the bureaucracy is an essential yet often controversial component of the American political system. Understanding its structure, function, historical development, and challenges is critical to appreciating how public policies are practically implemented and how governmental power is exercised in day-to-day governance.